The camera opens on the truck idling, its supercharged V8 rumble filling the air. I step into frame with a grin, the kind that only comes from knowing you're about to spend time with something ridiculous, in the best possible way. Today we're diving into the 2026 Ford F-150 Raptor R. A truck that isn't just loud in sound, but loud in personality. Ford has doubled down on aggression this year, and from the minute you fire it up, you feel it. I run my hand along the front grille as the engine burbles behind me. Up front, the Raptor R wears a look that means business. The grille is wider, the lighting more chiseled, and the hood bulge. Yeah, that's not just for show. Airflow matters when you're feeding a supercharged V8. The 2026 model refines. It stands just enough to look fresh while staying unmistakably Raptor. The camera pans along the fenders. These wider fenders still house those massive 37-inch tires, and the suspension travel remains insane. Ford tweaked the shock tuning this year, making the ride even more controlled at speed. It's the kind of setup that makes you want to aim for the bumps instead of avoiding them. I open the door and climb in. Inside, though, this thing does something unexpected. It gets luxurious. Ford clearly wants you to feel special in here. The materials feel richer this year, the stitching more detailed, and the seats? They're these perfect hybrids of track car bolstering and long-haul comfort. The Raptor R still gives you the digital gauge cluster and wide touchscreen, but the graphics are cleaner, faster, and more customizable. I tap through the drive modes. Baja mode still steals the show. Everything sharpens, the exhaust opens up, and the truck basically tells you to find a desert. But what I really like is the new flexibility. You can mix and match steering, exhaust, throttle response, and suspension settings the way you want. I press the start button again. The exhaust barks to life. And the sound. This is why people buy the Raptor R. Ford didn't try to make this thing polite. It roars, it snarls. It announces itself long before you ever see it. Even in quiet mode, there's nothing subtle about it. But once you open the valves, forget it. This thing is pure theater. Back outside, I lean against the bed of the truck. Performance? It's still designed to be excessive. The Raptor R continues to prioritize off-road dominance, and while Ford hasn't reinvented the formula for 2026, they've refined it. You get more control, more stability, and a truck that feels even more planted when you're pushing it harder than any truck should reasonably be pushed. I turn toward the camera with a final smile. At the end of the day, the 2026 Ford F-150 Raptor R isn't trying to be everything to everyone. It's big, it's loud, and it's unapologetically wild. And honestly, that's exactly what makes it special. If you want practicality, look elsewhere. If you want personality and a whole lot of horsepower, this is the one to beat. I give the roof a pat as the engine thunders behind me. I gesture toward the tailgate as the camera follows. Before we wrap up, let's talk about utility because, yes, even a wild truck like this still has a job to do. The bed remains as functional as ever, but Ford added a few subtle upgrades for 2026. The integrated tie-downs are stronger. The lighting is brighter, and the tailgate work surface has been slightly redesigned to be more durable. It's not a revolution, but it's the kind of thoughtful refinement that makes living with this truck easier. I lean into the bed slightly. And even though the Raptor R is all about performance, it doesn't forget that it's still an F-150 at heart. You've got the optional power outlets back here for tools, camping gear, or tailgating setups, whatever adventure you're dragging this truck into. The camera cuts back to me. Fuel economy? Well, let's be honest. Nobody buying a supercharged V8 Raptor R is expecting miracles. It drinks fuel the way it drinks air quickly and enthusiastically. But the trade-off is that incredible throttle response and that unmistakable exhaust signature. It feels alive every second you're behind the wheel. I walk alongside the truck again, running my hand along the bodywork. Something else I appreciate this year is the added refinement in low-speed driving. Ford seems to have worked on smoothing out the transmission shifts and polishing the throttle mapping. So even though this thing is a desert racer at heart, it's actually becoming easier to live with day to day. I stop at the driver's door and turn toward the lens. And that's where the 2026 Raptor R really shines. It blends absolutely outrageous performance with genuine everyday comfort. You get the sense that Ford looked at what made last year's truck great and simply